What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We continue with our 2023 predictions. Northwestern is up next. Let's take a look at some of the other predictions for the Wildcats. FPI has them at 4.9 and 7.2. Yes, they do give them about a 10% chance of winning the division and going to the Big Ten Championship. Athlon, 3 and 9. The over/under, I've seen it at 2.5, and I've seen it at 3. So the FBI is a little bit higher on this team, but of course the off the field issues make this kind of complicated. I did all my predictions, filled everything in before that came out. So the predictions you're going to see as far as the games and everything, those were done before any of this news came out. It's obviously going to be a big blow losing Pat Fitzgerald as great coach. The distractions, everything, you would think that's probably going to affect this team negatively. But we've also seen when teams go through times like this, they'll kind of rally around each other, play for each other, and we've seen them actually do better than you might expect. So it's kind of hard to say for sure. I'm just going to basically go with my original predictions and talk about this team for what I believe they are roster-wise. Offensively, Ben Bryant coming in, transfer quarterback, I think will help them out. They've got options there at that position. Cam Porter back at running back. Henney, a transfer receiver from Michigan. So, they've got some weapons on offense. Defensively, I think the back seven is actually pretty strong. Linebacker, secondary, pretty good. This is a team that went 1-11 last year. But remember, they beat Nebraska in the opener and looked like a pretty good team. I thought, hey, this might be a top 25 team this year. And then it just went downhill. And, we were expecting them to kind of bounce back at least a little bit this year. But now with all the distractions and everything, I really don't know what to expect for Northwestern. But here are my predictions anyways. We'll start with Rutgers. Should be a low-scoring defensive battle here on the road. Going to be a tough one. Again, playing on the road, maybe that's the difference here in this game. This is a Northwestern team that went 1-11. Again, let me remind you, 1-11 last year. And when you looked at their roster, it's still hard to imagine how they did that. But I do think they'll lose this game but bounce back and beat UTEP. So I think they get a win over UTEP. They're sitting there at 1-1. Then they go on the road to face Duke. Going to be a good Duke team, well-coached team, veteran team, a lot of production coming back. Talent-wise, maybe Duke doesn't have a huge advantage here, but I just think they've got it together there at Duke, and I think they're going to win this one fairly easily by at least a couple of touchdowns. Then they'll play Minnesota on September 23rd at home. First game in the Big Ten. Minnesota's going to have a really solid team again this year. I don't really see Northwestern winning this game. I think they probably get blown out against Penn State. Again, we're talking about a team roster-wise that's really not great in Northwestern. Probably the worst roster in the conference. And then you add in, Pat Fitzgerald is gone. So I just don't expect much from this team. Don't really expect them to compete with Penn State. But I do think they'll beat Howard. So that's going to put them at 2-4. Then you've got Nebraska on the road. They beat Nebraska last year. I don't think they do it this year. Maybe at home they'd have a chance here, but playing on the road, tough place to play. Nebraska's got a lot of enthusiasm, which who knows where they'll be at this point. They got a bye week to prepare, so maybe they go out there and surprise everyone, but I'm going to stick with Nebraska here in this game. Then they'll play Maryland on the 28th. Maryland's going to have a pretty good offense this year, and I don't think Northwestern's able to shut them down. I don't think they're going to score enough points here to keep up with that Maryland offense. I think they lose that game. Another low-scoring game here against Iowa. This game will be at Wrigley Field. That'll be interesting. A lower-scoring game, so it's probably not going to be a blowout, but I don't see Northwestern winning. Going to go with Iowa in that one. On the road at Wisconsin, I really feel like Wisconsin's going to be a good team this year, potentially a top 15 team. And like I said, on the road, I just don't see Northwestern having much of a shot in this one. So I think they probably get blown out there. Then they get Purdue November 18th. I'm not high on this Purdue team. I don't think they're going to be very good this year. You stack up these two rosters, I think they're pretty similar. But I just think we're going to see a desperate Northwestern team, a team that maybe they've given up, but maybe they haven't. Maybe they kind of rally around each other. They have one good game late in the season kind of to end things on a positive, not the very last game, but of course next to the last game. Again, going back to, I did my predictions before all the off the field stuff, so this is what I had at that point. Now maybe I don't feel great about Northwestern winning this game, but I got to stick with that, and we'll say Northwestern wins it. And then they close things out with Illinois, another probably lower scoring game on the road, though I'm going to go with Illinois to win it. So I've got this team going 3-9. Can they do better than that? Maybe they could get to 4-8. That's probably the best case scenario. I think they're probably 2-10 or 3-9. That would be my prediction. I feel pretty confident they'll beat UTEP and Howard. But Purdue will be that swing game that maybe gets them a third win, or maybe they find a win somewhere else, Rutgers, or I don't know. I think 3-9 is probably about the best they're going to do this year, and again, could possibly go 2-10. Would love to get your thoughts, your predictions on Northwestern. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.